So it looks like Prydwen dropped another tier list. We're here to check it out. And right off the rip, I do notice some things automatically that I don't agree with, but we will get to those in a second. So starting up here, of course, we're talking about Memory of Chaos. Acheron is just incredibly busted in all gameplays. I'm probably sure she's probably S+ in pure fiction too, but we'll look at that in a little bit. Daniel the Dragon, yeah, of course, with the help of Sparkle, stays here easily. Jingliu, she's also very phenomenal. Of course, she's going to be a big damage dealer. I think we're going to focus on the damage dealing and then move to the rest of the list. We like to see QQ here. I think all these guys make sense here too. Oh god, Blade in A tier. I think Blade should be an S tier. If we're looking over here, we see Luocha. These two paired together, easily S tier. Clara, I guess A makes sense, or extremely low S tier. Argentie's B, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, as we play MOC, when we get to like stage 12, the final boss, if you're fighting him, if you're fighting Sam, he's not going to make any sense here because just he doesn't do a lot of single, or he doesn't solely focus on single target damage, or he's just not excelling high in damage itself, so it makes sense. Himiko, Herta, these two together make a really good pair, but if the MOC isn't about follow-up attacks, it doesn't really matter. Hook could be D, Misha could also be D. Yeah, all this makes sense too. Now our specialist, which are characters who excel under specific circumstances, carrying a unique role that offers different and divergent playstyle. For example, breakers can monstrously burst damage or crippling crowd control, and synergists and introduce entirely new team archetypes. Yes, definitely S tier. I think Black Swan should be S tier. Both of them together are incredible. Obviously, both of them being Nihility characters also make her even better. So I think if she's up here, they should be up here. Obviously, Acheron is just the craziest character in the game of all time, so that's a whole different story. But these two should be up here. I agree with Topaz being an A or an S, maybe high 8s here. Sure, I can agree with those. Gnifin, I think Gnifin could be A tier. I think so. I mean, just like earlier, I compared these two together, right? Her being a Nihility character with Acheron, obviously they're probably not the best in slot together, but I think she could go up to an A. Welt is getting absolutely disrespected. I think he should be a high A tier personally. Yeah, I don't think he's S tier, but I think high A, because if you compare him to like either one of these two, even Topaz, I guess, too, what do you do? Okay, what do you do? So I think he should be like a high A tier. It sucks to see Shushong here, but it makes sense. Yeah, it is what it is. Fire MC, preservation, and she also can do damage if you build her in that way. C, sure, I don't know, maybe I would put her in B tier personally. Now when we look at the amplifiers, yeah, of course they make sense. I would arguably put all three of them up here, but that's just me personally. I think all of these guys are just absolutely phenomenal. Ruan Mei is probably the best out of everything here. She's just also disgustingly broken. I think Pela should definitely be S tier, so move all these guys up to S+, move Pela to S. Personal opinion, I don't have a lot of experience using these two, so B, sure, it makes sense. Yukong, I used to like Yukong. I used to use her. Sure, she was fun, but yeah, I think she is definitely the lowest. Yeah, that's very fair to say. Your sustains, you have Fushuan, who is absolutely incredible. I think Ho-Ho definitely can stay in S. I think Luocha could potentially go up here as just, you know, being the best healer in the game and having the auto heal. I personally think he could probably move up. We're in just terms of value, right? We're talking MOC, we're talking about sustaining your healers, your shielders, your damage reduction people, whatever. I think he could go up here personally. Gallagher being a high A, beating out all of these is good. Japard, I think Japard could probably go to A. I think he would be right here or maybe in between, I don't know, but I think he's getting disrespected. I would move him up. March and Natasha, it's sad that Natasha's not relevant anymore after release of links coming out. I mean, and Gallagher heals better, obviously you heal better, so I mean this makes sense. When it comes to you being a preservation character, what do we're talking MOC still. Yeah, I guess that's fitting and that makes sense, sure. But yeah, all right, going over to the pure fiction, obviously she's going to be S plus. I would argue and say Himiko could also move up to S plus as well. We're talking about a lot of enemies, so Argenti does make sense. If it's a physical character that he's fighting, he would be S plus. S makes sense for you. Acheron being A here is kind of crazy. I'm sure she's absolutely busted in the pure fiction, and I don't know why I'm saying sure. I'm sure because I am actually sure. I've actually used her in pure fiction and I think she's absolutely incredible. Blade in pure fiction, obviously this is about AoE damage. I think he could probably be a low S. You make sense here. You should be at the top of the list, or maybe super low S. You make sense here, and you make sense here. Yeah, this makes sense as well. I mean, he's definitely strong in just like overall damage dealing, so MOC, he's wonderful. Pure fiction, unless he's paired up with someone like Sparkle, then, you know, this makes sense. I think if you pair him up with Sparkle, he could go up to an A. GQ, same thing. Pair with Sparkle, she can go up to an A. Yeah, that makes sense. This makes sense. Specialist, again, I think these two should be on the same level. I mean, obviously I think Black Swan's way better of a character and just dot damage regardless, and her being like an enabler. Obviously these two go hand in hand. I think they should both be S plus. Godaifen, yeah, this makes sense. I still like Welt being up a little higher, maybe a low A. I think Welt would be better there. Topaz, yeah, this makes sense for her. And then yeah, this makes sense for them, unfortunately, because I mean pure fiction is all about hitting multiple people. You have your single target people here. Yeah, you kind of belong here. And yes, I mean we'll get to her, but yeah, she belongs there too. Amplifiers, obviously, again, I personally would argue all these guys can go in S plus, because if you have really good amplifiers, which all these guys are, obviously she takes skill points away, or because you always have to use her skill point. But I think all four of these should be S plus, just personally. Pela should be an S, just like I said before, because if you're running pure fiction, you're trying to hit everyone. She has AoEs. You pair her with someone like her, it's like heaven. All right, Hanya makes sense. You make sense. And then unfortunately this makes sense too, because of course, like I said, MOC is about attacking multiple targets. I know in a team, Silverwolf, like in a regular scenario, Silverwolf is phenomenal with someone like Acheron, but in this scenario, Pela is going to be a lot better. You have your AoE. I mean, there's nothing else to really argue with about that. Now, in our sustain, we have her, yeah, and this makes sense in pure fiction because she heals you and she also buffs you up. This does make sense. I would still like to see Luocha up here just because I think he like personally is a better healer than her, but in something like Pure Fiction, she provides more because the amplification of damage she can do. Gallagher, I do love Gallagher. I think he's great. This does make sense. I think we could move Japard again to an A, and I feel like if he's up here, Bailu should also be up here, or not Bailu, sorry, Link should be up here too, because I mean, I say these two go hand in hand. Obviously, I think he's gonna, you know, get the edge being a little bit better because he provides a little bit more than what Lynx does, but I think she should still at least be up here. You guys make sense. Unfortunately, Natasha, I'm sorry that you're down at the bottom of this list, but that's just how this shit goes. Ultimately, I think this list could have been a little bit better, just personally speaking. Obviously, this is Prydwen's opinion. Now you're also hearing my opinion. This is just how this goes. Ultimately, I don't think it's a terrible list. I just personally would just change up a lot of things, but it is what it is. That's just what I think. What do you guys think down below? Let me know, please. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But now, actually, before we end the video, I actually want to do a 10 pull here. I have one. We are at 30 pity. She is E1 because we got super lucky by pulling her at 30 pity prior. So let's see if we get lucky again. If not, we're gonna just be skipping it. Yeah, okay, give me another Gallagher, please. We have a Palo. That's fine, we'll take her. Guys, I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for taking the time and chilling with your boy. I hope you guys have a good day. I'll catch you guys in the next one.